Good morning. It's Sunday. It's the Lord's Day. It's the 26th of April. And our reading is from James 1, 2 to 3. My brothers and sisters, think of the various tests you encounter as occasions for joy. After all, you know that testing of your faith produces endurance. Now, let's be honest. This one is a tough one because endurance, testing, joy, those don't all seem to fit in the same pattern. Certainly, the things that test us, I don't know about you, but I'm not over anxious to rejoice in whatever those trials are. But I don't think that's necessarily what James is saying. I think what he's saying is rejoice in how God uses those trials to teach us endurance. Not quite the same thing. We can say, I'm not happy for what I'm going through, but Lord, help me to what? Endure. I deal with this a lot in the practice because obviously many of the people I work with are going through trials. And I always point to Christ in the garden where he says, Lord, let this cup pass, meaning he wasn't exactly excited about what he was about to endure. But he also says, in effect, but not my will, but your will. So he was willing to endure for God's purposes, the Father's purposes. And he said elsewhere that he took joy in what he was going to be facing, not for the trials, obviously, we see that in the garden, but for what it was going to produce, which in his case was the opportunity of salvation for all. And so for us, we don't necessarily have to be excited about what we're going through, whether it's physical pain, having to deal with doctors frequently, financial difficulties, crazy family members, whatever. We don't have to be happy about that. But if we have a focus on God and reframe these things in terms of God working in our lives, then we can rejoice in what he is doing through them, which is giving us the ability to endure. And we can say, Lord, give me what I need to endure until you move me out of this situation. And that becomes part of our testimony. That becomes a witness to those who maybe aren't even saved, who complain about everything in their lives. And they look at us and say, what's different? What's different is how we allow God to work in our lives. Everybody goes through tsuris, Jewish, Yiddish for troubles. Everybody has problems. The difference is, as believers, they don't go for nothing. For unbelievers, the only thing positive that can come out of it is for them to end up turning to Christ through it. But for us, all sorts of blessings come from it. So we can rejoice in what God is doing through trials, through what he is producing in helping us mature and being conformed to the image of Christ, while we are not necessarily all that excited about what we're going through itself. So keep that in mind. That's a balanced view. And if somebody says, why are you complaining? Look and see and ask yourself, why am I complaining? But that doesn't mean I can't say, I wish I was someplace else. That doesn't mean we can't pray to God for relief, for recess, or as I say sometimes and don't know what I even mean, or for a hug, because that's different for everybody. So rejoice in what God can do in your life and ask him for what you need, leaving him to decide what you really need. And I'll see you again tomorrow as we move into another work week. Lord bless. Have a great Sunday, and I'll see you again. Bye.